This video will take you through the process of performing video analysis on the iPad. Video analysis is a way to record data points from videos and analyze the physics of the objects in the videos. So to start, you'll have to download the video from Blackboard, and because the iPad doesn't allow downloads easily, the most simple way to do this is to open up Blackboard in Google Chrome, click the link. In this case, Blue Car 1 Drive is the link that I'm going to open, and then a new tab will open, and you may or may not get this menu up here, the Open in Google Drive. If you don't see that, you can go into the settings, which is this little block right behind it, behind the red line, and go into the settings for opening links, and you can turn the Google Drive option on. In this case, I hit just once to open the video in Google Drive, and then what that does is it sends the video to my Google Drive account, where I can hit this little information button. When I hit that, it gives me the option to open in. I'm going to open it in Video Physics, which is the app that I need to have in order to perform video analysis. Once that app opens, what I'll see is I'll see crosshairs, and what I want to do is, to start out, set my origin and my scale. I need to tell this app how big objects are in the video. So when I hit origin and scale, what happens is I get a few options here. I get a set of axes, and I get essentially what is a line. And by clicking and dragging, or tapping and dragging on these little bubbles, that line will expand. And in this case, I know that between the second marker and the fourth marker from the left, I know that that is 1.84 meters. So I tell it 1.84 meters and hit done. Then I go ahead and drag these coordinate axes. I drag them up to wherever I want to call 0, 0 in my video. In this case, there's going to be a car that's going to be running across from right to left, and so I'm going to call the starting position of the car 0, 0. When I click back on the points option, then I can drag my crosshairs up to wherever the object is that I'm going to be analyzing. Like I said, I'm going to analyze the car. So to start, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to use the control options down at the bottom to cue my video up to the very beginning of the video. In this case, the car is just barely going to be running away from my hand. Once I drag my crosshairs over that starting position, I'm going to tap on the object, and that will record a point. When I record the point, the video will automatically forward to the next frame. Now, in some cases, as you see, I analyzed individual frames, and I analyzed probably about 30 or 40 frames before I got, frankly, tired. And so I don't need to analyze each and every frame here, because I'm going to be able to collect enough information about that object, whether it's speeding up, slowing down, moving down, even if I collect a data point every 5 frames or 10 frames. So you see what I did here in the end. These last 10 data selection points were actually 10 frames or 11 frames apart. And so in this case, that sped up my work a little bit, but it didn't introduce too much error into this experiment. So what you need to do is just make sure you're dragging your crosshairs along with the object that you want to analyze, and every time you reach a frame that you want to analyze, you put the crosshairs over your object and you tap, and it will record another point. When you're finally done collecting all the points that you want, you're going to want to click this little graph option here in the top right corner. Once you click the graph option in the top right corner, it will bring you to the first graph, which is just going to give you the y position as a function of the x position. In other words, how high vertically is the object when it is at certain points horizontally. That's not really what we're interested in. We're very rarely interested in that graph. So you see there are actually 3 graphs here. So if I swipe to the left, it brings up another graph or set of graphs, one of which is the x position or the horizontal position as a function of time, and also the x velocity as a function of time. These are often the most useful graphs, the ones that we will look at. If I swipe one more time, I'll get, of course, the same thing, but in the y dimension. In this case, my car wasn't moving in the y dimension, so there's really nothing interesting to look at there. So the second set of graphs is exactly what I'm looking for, and so I'm going to hit done once I've found the information that I want. When I return back to my movie screen, I can hit the output or the send to button, and I'm going to click data file. And when I hit data file, I need to send it to my graphical app, which is the app that will allow me to manipulate those graphs which I just saw. My graphical app should automatically open. I will see the nice formatted data set that was collected in the video physics app. Of course, I'll hit the wrench to do any type of visualization and analysis of the graphs that are created, just making sure that the horizontal and vertical axes are the appropriate ones for my analysis. And that is how to use the video physics app and the graphical app to analyze the motion of objects from videos.